Hey, what's good, YouTube? We're back after a year not making any videos. Been gone for a while, but I'm just gonna make another video about the 365XL versus the HELLCAT Pro. We got the Pro on the right side, we got the XL on the left side. So right off the bat, 15+1 on the Pro, 12+1 on the XL. Springfield takes the win on that one as far as capacity. In terms of the grip module, we got the HELLCAT Pro here. If we look closely, even though dimensions are similar or actually identical in every website you look at, they're not really the same size. You can automatically tell that the Pro is a little bit thicker in terms of the slide and the frame here. That is a little thicker than Sauer's, and you can also tell the difference in thickness with a grip right here that goes straight all the way up. You got a little bit of finger grooves, which is nice, and the texture is super nice on this. Much better grip than the XL, but you can see how thick this is versus SIG's on this side. Not to mention, SIG does get this little undercut here, which is actually pretty nice. I do like that a lot. The one thing where the Pro kind of failed in terms of size-wise was with their trigger guard here. So you can see that there's not much room behind, not much room in front of the trigger. And on the XL, you can see there's plenty of space between the trigger, and that's partly because of the flat face trigger that the XL has, which is an amazing trigger. The reason that's important is if you're wearing gloves and you got to pull the gun and use it at some point, it's easier to use this one with gloves versus this, obviously. The grip, like I said before, is much better on this one. I think they went really crazy with it. To be honest, they put it all around. They put it here, they put it up here, and SIG just kind of did the basic, just kind of all around, but nothing up here or here. In terms of the trigger itself, they're both great triggers. I do prefer SIG's trigger though, just because I can shoot a little bit faster with it. Follow-up shots are better. And just the feel of it is, it's much lighter than the HELLCAT Pro. Not that it's less snappy. I know a lot of people say the Pro is a snappy gun. No, it's not. They feel just as snappy. The feel or the shootability of the trigger itself, though, I do prefer the XL slightly over this one. Though I will say that I don't know why, but EDC-wise, I do prefer the feel, not the shootability, but the feel of this trigger, because it's more crisp. It feels a little bit heavier, and so I do like this trigger feel for EDC, but I love the trigger on this one for the shootability part of it. Now, if we look at the proprietary rail on the SIG XL and the just Picatinny rail on the HELLCAT Pro, obviously I would prefer the railing on this one just because there's more options for lights. This, I kind of run the TLR6 light with the red laser, and that's because that's kind of all that there is. I know there's a couple other options, but that's my preference. I really like Streamlight. Shout out to them. And then on this one, I don't run a light, but I literally just got this not too long ago, but I probably would run something more of TLR7A, whether it's sub or non-sub, but you get more lumens, more light options on that one. Capacity wise, you got 15+1, 12+1. However, SIG's versatility does kind of win me over on this one, just because if we look over here, we got the 15+1 and we got the 17+1 from the X Macro. So I'm going to compare sizes, but before I go into the magazine size difference, I want to talk about just the factory stuff, because sometimes people just buy EDCs and keep them stock. So I know I have heard a lot that the HELLCAT Pro feels like a big gun made small, XL feels like a small gun made big. Yeah, that's true. Dimensions are identical in every website you look at, but look at the difference though. You can tell that they're not the same size, and part of that is because though they say it's the same thickness from here, they're not the same thickness from here, nor are they the same thickness from here. So that's probably why the Pro feels a little bit bigger, because where they measured, yes, they're identical in sizes, but in other areas, the HELLCAT Pro kind of sponged out a little bit more. The one place where the Pro did kind of mess up in my eyes is right here with the spacing on the trigger. So if you could look at the trigger guard, you don't have much room in the back, not much room up front. The XL's got plenty up here and plenty back here, which means if you're going to be carrying this as an EDC and you got to wear gloves at some point for whatever reason, this one is going to be the way to go, because you'll get your fingers in there with gloves a little bit easier versus the HELLCAT Pro. Moving on to the slides here on both the Pro and the XL, you can look at the HELLCAT Pro slide serrations here, front and back, as well as the XL front and back. The XL slide serrations are a little bit more aggressive. They're a little bit deeper, so I do prefer those over the Pros. If we look at the optics ready. They are both optics ready here, so that's also nice. I know for this XL, the one I got it when they kind of first came out, so the rear sights are integrated into the optics plate. So you got to remove both in order to add a red dot, which sucks because then you lose your rear sights. On the newer ones, if you guys look closely, they actually move the optic plate a little bit closer, and that's including in the X macro. So now you can leave your rear sights and add the optic. It's a 50-50 for me. I don't mind that I have this one just because the fact that if I add, I run the, let's go over here, I run the Holosun 507, so I don't care because I can co-witness with that, and that's not a big deal to me. Also, the fact that the red dot sits a little bit further back is nice because I don't get in as much of the ejection, like smoke and fog or whatever on the lens, versus once they started to move that up, you get a little bit more of that fog. So a lot of people don't think of that, but keep that in mind. This one here on the HELLCAT Pro, it's pretty nice. I mean, it's just optics ready, which is nice to have for the price that they both offer. In terms of the sights, I definitely prefer the HELLCAT Pro sights. Oh, come on, focus. I do prefer these over the XL sights, even though the one thing I do like about the XL sights is that both front and rear are night sights, versus the Pro, it's just the front. And that's just in my opinion. Some people will prefer just the front so they don't get mixed up at night. Some people will prefer both, but whatever. That's just, you know, your opinion, whatever you like the most. All right, moving on to the magazines. They both have their factory magazines inserted. They are cleared. I did check that. I'm running this with one hand here on my phone, so I can't check it for you guys, but I did check before I threw the magazines in there. Now, they do look pretty dang close in terms of size, but you can kind of see, if I'm putting it just above each other, how much more the grip on that HELLCAT sticks out. It's not much, but it is a little bit more. And then in terms of the magazine, you can see here the difference in how much, again, the HELLCAT just kind of sponges out just a little more because of the XL's cut here. Keep in mind, though, this is 15 versus 12. So, I mean, that's not bad at all for Springfield to fit 15, damn near the same size as the SIG's 12+1. I do like this cut, though, that SIG has. I just feel like it's another a nice detail for concealing when your clothes just kind of hangs over that little piece versus, you know, just coming on flat here. So I do like that. Let's take a look at other magazines that SIG offers. So SIG does offer multiple different size capacity magazines. We got a 15 rounder, and obviously that makes it a lot longer than this one. Well, maybe not a lot, but let's match these up now and see how much of a difference it makes. It's kind of hard because of the, there we go. Okay. Now, if we look down here, now we're talking 15 versus 15, and that sticks out. Actually, that's quite a bit of a difference there. So again, the Pro takes the win there. Now let's take a look at the 17 round magazine from the X Macro. And we'll again set this one up here. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, and it's not quite right. Come on. There it is. Okay. That's pretty close, I guess. But look how much that sticks out. And that's 17+1. That sticks out less than the 15+1 from the XL. And that, to me, is a clear winner for the XL. I hope that Springfield does come out with some more capacity magazines. That would be nice for them to compete with the XL's versatility. Another thing I love about the XL is you can change literally anything on this gun. So you have the XL, which is the 3.6 length slider barrel, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a barrel. That's 3.6. And you can swap out this frame and you can put a standard P365 frame and just shorten it down. Well, not that much, but maybe here-ish. So you can have even better conceal carry option without having to go buy a whole nother gun. And that's a pretty inexpensive purchase for the 365 frame. Another really popular one is the Wilson Combat frame or a grip module, which I purchased. I'm not a fan. It was just too aggressive for me. I'm actually selling this along with the matching base plate here, but yep, this is actually super nice. I love the attention to detail that they did on this. I really wish that I liked it because I love the way it looks. I love the cuts underneath here. I love just everything about it is just super nice. And this is a little bit more comparable to HELLCAT's size in terms of their grip, because even though this still has that nice cut that SIG offers there, it's a little bit thicker, sorry, a little thicker here, so it kind of compares to that. And on the rear, you've got like some nice like finger grooves going outwards to kind of compete against the comfortability grip of the HELLCAT Pro. So again, SIG Sauer XL or 365 XL just has the complete package. You can completely change anything you want. I'm not throwing any shade at the Pro at all. It's a great gun, but versatility wise, it's hard to beat the XL. I know there's another gun that is in competition with these, which is a 43X MOS. If we're talking just factory versus factory, it's going to be impossible to beat the XL, in my opinion, just because it offers so much right out of the box. The 43X MOS just doesn't, you know, the MOS, nice that they added the optics ready or whatever, but it doesn't have a lot of the things that these guns have. But you know, whatever, that's expected from Glock. They sell amazing guns, great reliable guns, but they're known for just kind of going limp on some of the detail oriented features versus other manufacturers. Not throwing again any shade at Glock. I do carry the 19 Gen 5 for my winter carry. So to summarize winner versus losers, it's not really a winner versus loser thing. It's just, honestly, it's going to come down to what you like and opinions, to be honest, because they're both really good guns. But I guess we can't really deny facts, right? So I'm going to go ahead and see what we like about both and who wins what. And again, we're just talking factory versus factory if you're not adding anything. Even if you do, honestly, in terms of aftermarket support, obviously the XL takes the cake on that. So we're just talking factory versus factory. Capacity, 15 versus 12. The HELLCAT Pro wins capacity. Grip, we're going to go with HELLCAT Pro. Trigger, super close, but we're going to go with the SIG XL. Let's see what else. Oh, sights, we're going to go with HELLCAT Pro. In terms of concealability, we're going to go with the XL. In terms of light options, we're going to go with the HELLCAT Pro. Recoil, they are equal. I'm trying to think what else here. Reliability, they're about the same. Speaking of, I know that there is a lot of talks about the 365 right now in terms of its trigger going off unexpectedly. No, that ain't true. That's on the 320 lineup. That's not on the 365. The 365 right now, not even right now, but it had a thing where you'd pull the trigger, it wouldn't do anything until you like shook it or jerked it a little bit, then it would go off. I believe all that stuff is fixed, but it's just now coming to light, which whatever. You know, every gun manufacturer has had its issues, will have its issues. It's a striker fired pistol, so none are going to be perfect right away. I mean, HELLCAT Pro also had some issues with their trigger in terms of their safety trigger getting in the way of pulling their trigger back, and they did fix that as well. Glock is currently going through a lawsuit for guns going kaboom from something going on with the bullets in the chamber. I'm not sure what that whole ordeal is about, but again, that, you know, doesn't do anything with the fact that it's just that either of these is a better gun than the other. There's another honorable mention in terms of EDC, and that's the Glock 43X MOS. I'm so glad they added the optics ready Glock finally. They're still a little behind in terms of capacity, in terms of grip, texturing, in terms of being consistent with their trigger feel on all of their Glocks. Also with their sights, they're kind of living in the older days. But again, no shame in Glock, no knock on Glock at all. I love Glock. I own Glock. I love the reliability part of it. I love that it does it. Don't fix what's not broken. I totally agree with that aspect, but it's nice to have some of these other features. Though Glock does have the best aftermarket support, and I do think that the SIG Sauer is coming closely after the aftermarket world in terms of chasing after Glock, but not even close at this point. Glock is still kind of taking over. So yeah, I don't think that the 43 MOS is at par with these two in terms of carry. Size wise, it's probably got the same thinness as this one, but I don't know. It's, again, as you guys saw, the numbers on paper are identical, but no, once you own both, once you see both and shoot both, you'll see a little bit of a difference. So for me, to conceal, if you're carrying to conceal, the XL is the clear winner. If I mean, and I guess body shape and sizes does differ, and it's going to depend on what you feel comfortable with. You know, so again, no knock on this. This is a great gun. If you want to go out and buy it, go for it. I do recommend it. For me and my taste, my opinions, and my body shape, this fits me better. I conceal it better. You know, and it's got so many more options. So for me, this one is the winner for today. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, learned a little bit something, maybe heard of something that you didn't hear in previous videos. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care, y'all. God bless.